I would like to know more about the cover and the artist.
Ah, a good friend of mine who is a comic book artist and also an illustrator, historical illustrator. So it's not like superhero art, it's also historical, but it's done in that kind of illustrative style. And
Mhm.
he did the cover for One Page Bulge #2. And I have a sample of the art which I will post in this interview, and we also will have it up on the landing page at lombardistudios.com where people can take a look at it. We also have some sample artwork. I mentioned that NATO symbols will be available, but on a much bigger counter. And then there'll also be a version where people who were interested in using the historical insignia for the Germans and the Americans, they can use that instead of or in place of the NATO symbols. And then as we're talking about cards, using cards that will have scenes of things like the bazookas or the German Panther and Tiger, and how those help tell the story. And those cards will have effects such as die roll modifiers, or they will cause uh, problems with movement, things like that. And there's one more thing besides the counters is that I'm looking at tokens, which would be circular counters, which would be for destroyed bridges or roadblocks and things like that. That immediately you can tell it's not the traditional square counter because of its shape, and you know therefore that that counter is a different type of uh, um, informational counter.
Yes, well, yeah, it was a very positional battle. It makes complete sense to have markers for when the terrain is changed.
Exactly, and that's an easy way to keep track of it because otherwise, if you use the same size counter, then what happens is it could get mixed up or it could get lost in the.
Yes.
So
And
again, you're talking playability. I mean, I want to keep hitting on that because you believe that is, and I agree, is one of the most important things in the games that we're doing right now. Even though we both want the history to be right, if it's not playable, no one's going to play it. They're just not going to say, "No, I can't do this. I don't want 48 pages of rules." We're not going to have that. I don't want to have counters so tiny I can't even read the type or the numbers on it. We're not going to have that either. So I'm definitely excited for these reasons, having One Page Bulge be respectfully honoring your original idea and what you wanted to achieve. And we'll do that even better with this edition.
oh, there after 40 plus years, we'd better be able to do better.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you're going to include a book with this also, right?
Yeah, there will be basically it's not a real comic book. It's a historical, it's an illustrated historical guide. So it won't be again, like I said, the superheroes and no goofy, characters. It'll be actual historical information, but it will be a historical guide, an illustrated historical guide that'll have maps, it will have illustrations, some of them basically colorized historical scenes and photos that show weapons and soldiers and tanks and equipment like that. And when the Air Force was able to get back involved, which the Germans did, they gathered all the planes they could for their one last big push. And of course, then the Allies struck back when the weather got good. All this is going to be shown in the booklet that you get with the game.
But no Captain America anywhere, right?
No, no Captain America, and definitely no cartoon characters. No Popeye, nothing
Not,
like that.
not even Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos.
No Sergeant Rock, no Ghost Tank, and all the things we grew up on. No.
I read a lot of Sergeant Fury back in the day.
Yeah, no. It'll be a historical illustrated guide, and that'll be part of the project. And we'll show artwork of that as well as we are developing it over the next month and a half.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me, Steve. And I hope that the people get excited enough that they choose to back the project